Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty fundamental as Plume moves towards its mainnet launch.
Right. We're talking about real-world assets on the blockchain, which is exciting, but how do you actually get your money in and out?
Exactly. That's the core question.
Yeah.
So we're going to explore Plume's own documentation on this,
Mhm.
focusing on, on-ramps and off-ramps.
Yeah, think of this as your guide to the entry and exit points for Plume. If you want to use the network, whether you're investing or issuing assets, you really need to understand this.
Okay, perfect. Let's jump right in then. On-ramps. What are we actually talking about here in the Plume context?
So basically, on-ramps are the services that connect your regular money, your fiat currency, dollars, euros, whatever, to Plume. They let you swap that fiat for the crypto you need on the network.
Right. So if I wanted to buy into, say, a piece of tokenized real estate on Plume, I can't just send dollars directly. I need this on-ramp step first.
That's exactly it. You need a way to get the network's currency first. It's kind of like needing, tokens for an arcade game. On Plume, you need its cryptocurrency to pay for transactions, the gas fees.
Ah, gas fees.
Uh-huh.
Like on Ethereum.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a small fee you pay in Plume's own crypto to cover the cost of processing your transaction and storing data. It keeps the network running.
So without using an on-ramp to get some of that Plume crypto first,
Yeah,
you're essentially stuck. You can't do anything on-chain.
exactly. You can't interact, you can't transact. The on-ramp gets you the fuel you need.
Got it. Makes sense. On-ramp equals fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So then what about the other side? Getting money out,
Mm.
maybe you've made some gains, or an asset issuer needs their funds back in the real world. That's off-ramps, I assume.
Precisely. Off-ramps are just the reverse process. They're the services that let you take your crypto from Plume and convert it back into your regular fiat currency, dollars, pounds, euros, whatever.
So if my tokenized property investment does well, and I want that value back in my bank account as dollars, I'd use an off-ramp.
That's the path, yes. And this is really crucial for those RWA projects building on Plume, the ones raising capital.
All right, the asset issuers themselves.
Yeah. They absolutely need reliable, trustworthy, safe ways to get their crypto proceeds converted back into fiat. They need that cash for, real-world stuff, operations, development, paying staff. So good off-ramps are critical.
Okay, so we've got the what, on-ramps get you in, off-ramps get you out. Now the who.
Mm.
Who is Plume actually working with to provide these services?
Well, they're saying they're in active talks with about a dozen of the top providers out there, which is a really strong signal.
A dozen. Okay, that's serious.
Yeah, it shows they're really focused on making this smooth. And they've actually mentioned 3 specific examples, which kind of gives us a peek at their thinking.
Oh, interesting. Let's hear them. Who are they looking at?
Okay, so one is Kado, K-A-D-O. They're known as a sort of crypto-native platform.
Crypto native, meaning?
Meaning they're built for crypto first. They're apparently quite quick at integrating with new chains, which is useful for Plume as it brings on different types of assets. You see platforms like DYDX, Base, Injective using them already.
Right, speed of integration sounds key for a growing network. Okay, who else?
Then there's Transac, Transak. Their big thing is global reach. They support something like 170 plus countries, loads of payment methods, over 300 fiat channels.
Wow, 170 countries. That's extensive.
It really is. And that fits well with Plume's goal of attracting global investment into these tokenized assets.
Yeah.
Big players like Polygon, Arbitrum, near use Transac too.
Definitely covers them out. Okay, and the third one they mentioned.
That's Ramp, R-A-M-P. Now, Ramp works a bit differently. It's an on-ramp aggregator.
An aggregator, like a comparison site.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It basically checks rates across, I think it's 17 different on-ramp services and finds you the best deal without charging you extra fees.
Oh, that's clever. So does the shopping around for you.
Pretty much. It routes your conversion automatically. This could be really good for users moving larger amounts where even small fee differences add up. Coinbase Wallet, BitMEX, Wirex, they use Ramp.
So Plume's not just picking one or two. They're looking at different models. Direct providers, global ones, aggregators. Gives users options. Any word on when these partnerships become official?
They've signaled that announcements are coming in the run-up to ETH Denver. So definitely keep an eye out around then. That's when we'll get the concrete details.
Something to watch for. Okay, let's focus on the user experience. When mainnet is live and these partners are integrated, what specific ways will I actually be able to, get my fiat onto Plume or get my crypto off?
Right, so the plan is pretty comprehensive based on their docs. For mainnet, they're aiming to support the usual suspects.
Yeah.
Direct bank transfers, ACH in the US,
Okay.
SEPA for the EU, faster payments in the UK, indirect up in Canada.
That covers a lot of ground already. What about other regions or methods?
They also mentioned PIX for Brazil, which is huge there, and standard wire transfers in the US too. Plus, importantly, credit and debit cards, Visa and MasterCard.
Cards are always convenient. Any mobile payment options in the mix, people love using those.
Yep, they're planning on that too. Apple Pay, Google Pay, even Cash App are mentioned.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, they seem really focused on making it as easy and familiar as possible for people to get started.
That sounds great for mainnet adoption. But quick question about the testnet people are using that now.
Yeah.
Can they test these on-ramps?
Ah, good point. No, the documentation is clear on this. Most of these providers can't integrate with the testnet.
Why not?
Well, because the tokens on the testnet, they don't have any actual monetary value. They're just for testing.
Ah,
So you can't really connect a valueless test token to the real-world financial system where actual money changes hands. It just wouldn't work.
makes total sense. No real value, no real on-ramp. Testnet is just for simulation. Okay, looking ahead to mainnet then, when people are using real money, what are some best practices Plume suggests for dealing with these on-ramps and off-ramps?
They give some pretty standard but important advice. First, always check the security measures of the provider you choose. Standard crypto safety, be careful.
Always good advice. Security first. What else?
Keep an eye on fees and transaction limits for whatever method you're using, bank transfer, card, whatever. These can change, and they vary between providers.
Right. Avoid surprises. Fees can bite.
Exactly. Also, make sure your KYC know your customer stuff is all sorted and up to date. Your ID docs and whatever else they need, that helps things go smoothly.
Good point. Having that ready saves hassle later.
Anything else? Yeah, just stay aware of any regulatory changes in your own country that might affect crypto on-ramps or off-ramps. The rules are still evolving everywhere.
Okay, so check security, know the fees, get KYC ready, and watch regulations. Seems like solid advice. Now let's circle back to the big picture. Why is having these direct on and off ramps on Plume itself such a big deal?
The biggest win is just ease of use. It cuts out a lot of steps. You won't need to, say, buy ETH on Coinbase, send it to your wallet, then bridge it over to Plume, paying gas fees all along the way.
So it avoids that whole bridging process.
Exactly. You can onboard directly to Plume. It should be much smoother, fewer steps, probably cheaper too, without extra bridging fees. Just less friction overall.
That definitely lowers the barrier for new folks. Any other advantages?
Well, they hint that if you've already done KYC with one of their partner providers elsewhere, you might be able to sort of opt in to share that verification with Plume.
Oh, so potentially skip doing KYC all over again.
Potentially, yeah. It could make onboarding even faster if you're already verified with, say, Transact or Cado from using another platform. Huge time saver.
That would be incredibly convenient. What about for the projects, the asset issuers on Plume? How does this help them?
For them, having these tools right in their admin dashboard is a big plus. It makes managing the money coming in from investors and then potentially moving funds out to pay for project costs much more streamlined.
Right. Simplifies their treasury management, basically.
Exactly. It just makes the whole operation more efficient for the businesses actually using Plume to tokenize assets.
So it benefits both sides, the individual user wanting to invest and the company issuing the asset.
That's the idea. Lower the barrier for users, streamline operations for issuers.
This has been really helpful. It's clear Plume is putting a lot of thought into making the connection between traditional finance and their network as seamless as possible.
Absolutely. They're focused on building these direct pathways, working with major players. It's all about making it user-friendly and accessible.
So the main thing for you, the listener, to take away is that Plume is seriously working on making it easy to move your money onto and off of their network directly. This should make engaging with tokenized assets much simpler.
Yeah, and as we get closer to mainnet, watching which specific partnerships get announced will be really telling. That user experience for on-ramping and off-ramping will be absolutely key to watch for anyone interested in this space.